I'm Vance Stevens, and I'm living in the United Arab Emirates with a cat and a wife, and my kids are in neighboring countries. Um, let's see. I coordinate something called Learning Together, and this is at Learning Together session time, so we call this a Learning Together session. But it looks like it's a Hello Little World session as well, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, we sort of took over the house, I think.
That's great.
Hello.
Well, we were just talking
Greetings.
about how that happens. And this is, let me just mention before we get started, it's the 30th of November, 2014. And I just like to give the dates of all our sessions. We record these. I hope that's okay with everybody. It goes up on YouTube. It gets archived at something called learningtogether.net. And you can find, well, we've been doing this since 2010. And last week we had someone on who is doing some research into a community of practice who started last century sometime, about 1998 or so, and it's called Webheads in Action, or Webheads. It's called Writing for Webheads, but then in 2002 it became Webheads in Action. Anyway, somebody has just done a PhD research on it, and he was with us last week talking about his research and talking about who are webheads. And Sebastian was here. Who is Sebastian with us, or?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Sebastian. Okay, so there we go. So I met Sebastian last week. I didn't see him. We were in Illuminate or Blackboard Collaborate. It's one of the spaces we use. And Sebastian was there, and he mentioned in the text chat, "Hello, little world." And I said, "What a coincidence! That's Maria is in Hello, Little World, and do you know her?" And he said, "Yes, I do." And then I noticed that Maria was actually not in my webhead circles, but I always thought she was a webhead. We can talk more about whether or not you're a webhead later. But anyway, I just thought we also did, Maria and we did a global education conference presentation Tuesday a week ago, and we sort of talked about our networks and how they come together. And there was another lady named Maha who was going to join us in that presentation, but she didn't make it to that one, but we're expecting her tonight. Now, one more point before I throw it over to you. We're getting echo from somebody. That means I'm going to have to mute. I'm going to have to find out where that's coming from and mute someone. So if I mute you, you can just turn it right back on again. I see Govinda is already muted. That's another thing you can do. You can self-correct by muting yourself. And I see Lin is muted. I'm not sure if it could be Kathy. I'm not sure. Sebastian is muted, so maybe if Kathy, if you tried to mute yourself and see if that will stop the echo. Yes, that did it. Okay, that's fine. You can correct that by using earphones, or you can just mute yourself when you're not talking. But don't forget to unmute yourself when you want to talk. Okay, the sound is perfect now. Great. Okay, so that's enough from me for right now. Let's find out who are the Hello Little World people.
Hello, I'm Maria Colussa. I'm from Argentina, and I teach English to adults from home. And I've been a member of this wonderful group for 2 years, I think, and I've done a lot of learning with them. Sebastian, it's your turn.
Don't forget to unmute. There you go. Still can't hear you, though. Is it just me, or is it Sebastian? I can't hear you. Should we go to someone else while Sebastian is working? Let's see. Heard something there. Oh, we got it, Sebastian. I think you might have had a short in your mic or something, but we heard a crashing sound just now. No, still can't hear.
Okay, maybe while we ask for Sebastian to sort out the problem, maybe Lin can introduce yourself.
Okay, hello, good morning to all and good evening from Taiwan. I am Ling Tan. I teach primary school English in a public elementary school. And because of this group, I can invite a lot of English speakers or native speakers here in my classroom to enable my students use the target language we are learning in the classroom. Otherwise, we didn't have enough opportunity or enough chances to be surrounded by English speakers. So by means of Hello Little World Skyper in the global classroom, I know such wonderful teachers, educators around the world in the classrooms who can meet my classes, and we can exchange our teaching plan or just instant talking in English, and also do some project together. That is wonderful. So I'm so grateful to our educators in our group. Thank you.
Okay. We'll ask you more about your projects later. Maybe we could go to Kathy or Govinda.
Hi, I'll start. Can you hear me? Is everything okay?
Yes,
okay.
Everything's
Good. Greetings from the Alps. I live in Austria, down south, right next to the Italian and Slovenian border. I started this group at the beginning of, I think it was January 2011, together with Brad Peach from McKinney, Texas, where we met accidentally via ePal, and we started Skyping with our classes. And then that's how the group started to expand. He met other people, I met other people, and that's how this group, like I said, expanded until they have more than 250 collaborate and ardent teachers, passionate soulmates, working hand in hand 24/7 the entire year. We share a lot, where I say sharing is inspiring and caring. There is nobody here jealous. Everybody wants to share their knowledge in order to help our students become better global citizens. Is that enough for now?
It sounds like you're describing Webheads. So that's really great.
It's not a Webhead. I'm sorry, it's the HLW's Hello Little World Skypers that we're talking about.
Yeah, I know, and it sounds like it's something that has a lot in common with the group. When did you start your group, by the way?
January 2011.
Ah, okay.
We have fantastic people who have retired, who are still busy, still involved, helping us. We even have our own song, which I would love to play one day so that people would hear. Our French colleague who lives on the west coast of France wrote a song. We have fantastic web pages, experts, IT experts, and ESL language teachers all over the world. And we all collaborate hand in hand. And there's always somebody here when I need help, because I have no IT education whatsoever. I know all I have to do is, click onto my HLW group, and there is someone here who, helps me. I've got my troubleshooters, helpers here on this fantastic platform. And my students just can't imagine living without my HLW Skypers.
Yep, we have our own song too. But anyway, we'll compare notes on those things later. And in the song it talks about that. Yeah, in the song it talks about how no matter where you are, you can there's somebody to call. Let's see, Ryan, you need to mute your microphone if you please, or I could mute it for you. Oh, you got it. Good for you. quick on the draw there. All right. Thank you very much. Sebastian, did you get your microphone sorted? And we also have Govinda. No, we can't hear you, Sebastian. Maybe Govinda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, namaste, good evening and good morning from Nepal.
Hi.
So right now it's 4:06 p.m. here. I'm Govinda, a school teacher from Nepal. In addition to that, I run a small school in a rural area of Nepal. So HLW platform is wonderful. We can meet different, educators and teachers with different expertise. And I have been, so much opportunity, to learn about technology because I never, had chances to learn technology in my school. But when I came to this group, I have learned so much, and with that, with so kind people, with the help of so kind people, sometimes, I use different ideas in my classroom, what I learn here. And sometimes I talk to the different, classroom across the globe. So we share cultural things, and it helps, us to improve our English, and our children enjoy learning English through this, Hangout or Skype, a lot. So I have been trying to integrate technology in my classroom teaching. And people are so kind here. They teach us, and they share different ideas. So we are very excited to meet, people in this group. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to meet all of you. It looks like Sebastian, Sebastian has tried the kind of fix where you leave and come back. That's maybe a good idea. We've got two other people who've joined us. We've got Ryan in Saudi Arabia, and Robert in Philippines, in Mindanao, I believe. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
And now I unmute it, right?
You got it. We can hear you fine.
Okay, I don't know. My bandwidth might be really low because last time I tested it was about 1.5 megabits per second. I am in the middle of the desert. We are in a town of less than 100,000 people on the west coast of Saudi Arabia. I teach at a vocational school here, and I am the resident technology and technical English teacher. I've been here for about 1.5 years. Before that, I spent about 5 years in China teaching ESL all over China. And I was a complete digital immigrant until about 1.5 years ago. At this point now, I am totally geeked out digitally, and everything. I just want to embrace everything. And I've read that Mark Prinsky's Teaching Digital Natives, and I am a recent convert and probably stormtrooper to the digital native movement. So nice to meet you all. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, have you heard about, are you familiar with Webheads in Action or Hello Little World, either of these communities of practice?
I got the email and the links, and I've been doing some looking at the stuff this weekend, but this is my first ever webinar, so not familiar, I guess.
Okay, well, you will be at the end of this session.
And he will be invited too to join both groups. And here we have Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, so when you're not talking, if you don't mind muting your microphone, otherwise we get an echo from your computer. And Robert, you're next, I suppose, and then Elizabeth. Do you want to say something about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Robert Walkman, and I'm semi-retired, longtime ESL teacher from California, community colleges, and I've been living in the Philippines for a little over 1 year now, and I just finished teaching my first ever full graduate class. It was a like Introduction to Teaching English as a Second Language. We looked at second language acquisition theory and a lot of different teaching methods. I'll mention that I'm a graduate of the MAT program at the School for International Training in Vermont that has, I think, still a pretty outstanding program where they explore a lot of different non-traditional methods and approaches to language teaching. I've been using computers and various technology in teaching for quite a while. I'm pretty new to Webheads, but I got so intrigued by these Hangouts on air, especially, that I actually used one. I figured out how to do it privately so that only selected people can participate or view, and I actually used a Hangout on air for a friend of mine in Berkeley, California, to conduct a demonstration teaching of a teaching method that I don't know if anybody's heard of. It's called TPR storytelling. It's probably one of the latest methodologies, and went pretty well. And I got so excited about this tool that I actually just made a proposal to Tesol to do a little presentation in the as a tech fair in the Electronic Village in Toronto. And then I got a further idea that this could be good as a hands-on mini workshop, and I just invited Vance to help me with it, and probably I'll be helping him, but hopefully we'll do this in Toronto. So anyway, excited to be here, and I think it's time for me to be quiet and listen.
Okay. Sebastian, did you ever get your mic working? No, afraid not. Oh well, you can text it to us. Yeah, let's see. One possibility is to go to a recording program and see if you can get it working there off of this grid. But anyway, in any event, we have two other people who have joined us. Elizabeth Ann was first. Let's see if Elizabeth wants to say hi. And if not, we'll let Maha come on. Maha is one of the stars of our show tonight. She was the person I mentioned earlier, Maha Abdulmoneim, and she is from Egypt and is an entrepreneur, but with a great interest in online events. In fact, we keep, me and Maria and Maha keep bumping into each other at Hangouts and MOOCs and online sessions, and that's actually why why we wanted to invite her to join us in the Global Education Conference presentation, and also get her to come here, and let's look a little bit at our wider networks and find out why people like to come together in these spaces. So Maha, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Vance. Can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As Vance already said, my name is Maha Abdulmoneim. Maha. I'm from Egypt. I lived for a long time in the United Arab Emirates and the Sultanate of Oman, so the Gulf area. I'm originally a corporate trainer who's very passionate about learning and education in general. While people unfortunately sometimes look at trainers as only business oriented, but my field of training is leadership and management, but also communication skills and all the soft skills, which is behavioral related training. And I feel that my trainees or my colleagues who I was able to train got more things to do with their own personal lives and their lives in general than to do with their jobs, which I'm really happy about. I get involved with teaching. So far I've been able to get involved with underprivileged teenagers, especially in language, and also in preparing them for job market, to find jobs. And I discovered the internet and the communication online and getting connected in '97, and since then I've been really, I mean, I fell in love with it, and I never regretted 1 minute of it. I've been, I think of myself as a resident, but as I was I mean, perhaps we'll talk about this more later, but I am a resident who has the right to decide how much of me to share and how much and who with, like in real life. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be invited with you all, and I'm looking forward to a great discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Elizabeth, are you with us in voice as well as in image? Elizabeth Ann is her name, and she's from Grenoble in France, and she joins us at many of these sessions. And we have 10 people here, if I count correctly. Yes, 10 people are here. Halima Ozimova from Uzbekistan is in the stream and chatting with us in the text chat there. I can put the link to that. It's at chatwing.com/VANCESTEV. Nina Liakos has just joined and said good morning. So in these sessions, what we do, we have a technique for having the hangout directly here for the people who are participating, and then for spillover crowds, we stream them. They can be streamed on the YouTube channel as they're recording, they're streaming, and we set up spaces and wiki spaces for them to be streamed as well. So welcome to those people, and anyone who has comments, we'll try to monitor that text chat, and maybe even I'll give you the address so that you can also write in it. So anyway, well, what we're talking about today is the magic of networks, and we have an illustration of that magic here. So I was explaining earlier how Maha and Maria and I keep bumping into each other at MOOCs and things like that. And so if you inhabit that world of MOOCs, possibly you do bump into people like that. I don't know, perhaps, I don't know if the Hello Little World people are into MOOCs, or if you have how your networks are outside of Hello Little World. Obviously you identify strongly with Hello Little World. Whereas me, I was founder of Webheads some 15 years ago, so that's been a strong presence in my life. And other people here, I don't know. You could talk about your connections. I think Elizabeth would probably identify with IATEFL fairly strongly. And we have also something coming up called Electronic Village Online. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Are you familiar with Electronic Village Online? EVO. Turn it over to you for an answer.
Vance, in our Hello Little World group, there are a number of us who are teachers of English, but there's the rest of them belong to different branches of education. So we have technology teachers, history teachers. Well, Reinhard from Germany, I think he's a chemistry teacher. So MOOCs and the EVO sessions are mostly, I think, geared to teachers of English. And I invite them, but they are not attendees of those. That's why I am, I guess, the only one familiar with the EVO sessions. But what we have in common, we do have in common, is the bonding, the enthusiasm, and the idea that we never know what's going to come out, what the outcome will be. And Catherine is nodding there, because sometimes as we talk in the stream, in the Skype chat, ideas come out. And then there's another person who sort of likes that idea and bonds with that person to do that project, and that's how everything starts. Being a member of the group means a lot for people who are isolated, such as Govinda, for instance. I don't know if I'm right, Govinda, but I think that you get electricity only for a number of hours during the day. Something unthinkable of in Argentina. Well, in Argentina we we don't have electricity when there is a storm like the one I'm having right now. But in most places, electricity is taken for granted. So we know that, and we kind of try to support and not focus on that thing, but on other things. And then when Maha said that she helped her trainees in a number of other ways, that's what this group has done to me, for example. It has made me learn or know that I can do more things. Enthusiasm, basically. I don't know if somebody else wants to talk. For instance, when you mentioned Nina, I interviewed her after one of the EVO sessions. She's in my blog. She's featured in my blog. And she said yes when I asked her. That to me, it was, she didn't know me, but she said yes, and I interviewed her. And then Elizabeth, I met her, and she helped me test some things while I was in a conference, and we have a chat, and she was in France, and I needed someone to test something, and she barely knows me, but I know that her daughter lives in Argentina, because then we started talking about what she does and what I do. Well.
Yeah. Let's see. The Hangout is full. Robert has some of the people might want to join. Like, for example, if Nina wants to join, because you're talking about Nina, that's really nice. And Robert has offered to pop out. He can listen on the stream if he wants, so we can rotate people into the Hangout that way. So that's one nice thing about keeping in touch with people in a text chat. So anyway, okay, it looks like he's done that. So Nina, if you want to come in, you can probably get in. I presume you have the link somewhere. Let me know in the text chat if you don't. Anyway, let's see. You know,
can I mention something?
Yes, go ahead.
During the last 3-4 years, I noticed through Skyping, I became aware that my students didn't know anything about their own country. And we would Skype, and then other students would ask, well, what's in Austria? And it was amazing to find out that my students were not able to talk about their cultures, traditions, rituals. Ever since then, this has become a very, very, very important aspect in my curriculum. Right now, for example, I started a little project called December in Austria, where 20 students have been assigned to do various projects, describe what is the 6th of December here, why is this a holy day, why is the 8th of December another holy day, or how we celebrate Christmas Eve.
Oh.
New Year's Eve, complete and will now be uploaded on YouTube. And accidentally, I just mentioned this on our platform, and Laima, who is in Lithuania, who has also been a member for the last 4 years, said she's doing the same thing. Well, we got together, and that's how we start emerging. All of a sudden, we've got a pit going on. Our students are talking to one another, learning a lot from Lithuania, vice versa. And this I find extremely important. Just wanted to mention that.
I think what Kathy is trying to say here is that separately we are doing many things which have lots of things in common. So why don't we bond or join other classes, or why don't we invite others to help us? It isn't until you have to explain your own scenario that you pay attention to it. For example, in a mystery Skype, one day the children asked me, what color are the trees in your area? And I started paying attention to the colors of the trees in spring here, just because someday another child might ask the same. I don't know, to me it's like mindfulness, but applied to teaching, you know.
Here's Nina. Hi, Nina. How are you?
Hi, everybody.
There are a couple of networks that are, I think, really relevant to, well, EVO, for example, is not just about language teaching. There are interesting things about flipped classrooms, creating e-books, copyright, Creative Commons, things like that. So there are lots of issues that are really ancillary to language teaching. It's teaching, basically. A lot of us are language teachers, but possibly there are a lot of tech specialists there as well. So I think the person to tell you about EVO would be Nina Liakos, because she's been the coordinator for the past couple of years of Electronic Village Online. She's probably more on top of it than anyone else there. At this point, we're putting together our sessions for next year, but it's a free 5-week event that starts in January and goes through February, or into February. So I don't know, Nina, do you want to tell us how it's going?
Well, our deadline for those sessions to be ready is right around the corner on Monday. We have a coordination team of 11 people. We will go through all the sessions, make sure everybody's ready to go, and then give final approval. We have about 15 sessions this year, and most of them are brand new. Even if we have experienced moderators like Vance is going to do something this year that he's never done before, and I'll throw it back to you in a minute. We have sessions on educators and copyright, on teaching pronunciation. So educators and copyright, for example, would be interesting to anybody who taught anything, I think, not only English teachers. Teaching pronunciation differently is only for English teachers. See, help me out, Vance. What are some of the other new sessions? There's one on creating a blog in your class. There's a repeat session on the DREAM Act here in the USA for young people who were brought illegally into the United States when they were infants or very young children, and their situation as they get to the age to go to college. I don't know, we have 15 sessions there. I just woke up, I'm sorry, it's 7 a.m. here.
Robert mentioned Anvil, and that's Jeff Magoto's project at the University of Oregon, and I hope I got that right.
That's the pronunciation people.
Oh, that's right. But it's really about flipped learning.
That's another session, thank you.
And I'm doing mine on Minecraft. Is anybody here using Minecraft with young people? Have you come across anybody using Minecraft in Hello Little World?
Yes, there are some technology teachers who are familiar with that. I am from the group who is very immigrant, if quoting Ryan's Prensky's words. I'm not very technology minded, but I think that there are some members of our group who are using that, and they are also using coding. There is an hour of code thing going on by Luis. I think Luis Morgan is doing that, another teacher. But I'm not familiar with Minecraft, so I'm sorry. I wanted to use that, and my computer crashed. The same with the Second Life thing. I don't know if this is the same thing, so I have to do a little more research on that. Sorry, Vance.
Could I just mention something? I'm not the youngest anymore, and I do not have an IT education. I have never learned anything. What I know today.
I've noticed that Kathy's audio comes in and out. One way to fix that is to pop out and back in again. So I think that's probably a bandwidth issue from Austria. Try again. Can you hear me, Kathy? Can everyone hear me? Yeah, okay, Maha says yes. Okay. I'm very interested in learning a lot more about Hello Little World because I've heard about it through Maria, and then we met Sebastian, who appeared at our session last week, which was just about Webheads in action. Kathy's back. Do you want to continue, Kathy? I think you're back online. We can hear you. Oh, can't hear. Why is that? Okay. Anyhow, I'm interested in practical examples of things that you're learning from one another, because we also have students interested in doing projects with one another. And another network I was going to mention too is the K-12 network. Are you familiar with the K-12 online conference that happens every year since 2006? A great bunch of educators who meet in several spaces online to help each other learn about technology and put their students in touch with each other. Are you familiar with the K-12 online conference?
Is this for primary school teachers? Is Shelley Terrell part of this? Because I've been in some of her sessions, and I don't know if it was part of that.
Shelley is everywhere. She's doing sessions in EVO. She does weekly sessions. Gosh, she's got probably 100 recordings online for something that's called Tesol Online. I don't think it's really Tesol, but it's. I could give you the link if you like. But she also is involved with the community that does the K-12 online. Wesley Fryer is another person who's very prominent there, and Peggy George, who comes to Webheads events sometimes. So again, these are intersecting communities. The interesting thing about the K-12 online conference is that it's not something you have to be there to enjoy. They record everything, and all the recordings are set pieces. In fact, it's an asynchronous conference. So Sebastian's got the link. Very good, Sebastian. So if you go there, you'll find all kinds of recordings that, again, are instances of teachers trying to help one another understand. Usually they're recorded in such a way as to model a concept that they're trying to teach. And they're all about putting students together and how that's really good for critical skills of the students, and what Kathy was talking about, and Maria also, helping the students understand their environments and how they relate to other cultures and things like that. So that would be something you'd probably be interested in.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that when we meet Maria in my classroom, my grade 6 students were so excited, and when they saw the flag behind Maria, they figured out where Maria is from. And at once they mentioned the football star Messi, right? So you see, the media's power, the power of media, and now we bring the true, the authentic Argentine or pretty women to meet with my class. That's just wonderful. And Govinda told us how to say hello in Nepali, namaste. Yeah, and Sebastian usually comes up for us to do reader theater, and he gave us a lot of suggestions, or just enjoy our English song singing. And also sometimes Catherine popped out, and she also, yeah, impressed us a lot because we never met a guest teacher from Austria. It is impossible for us to do this before I entered into our group. So not mention Reinhard and Marx in Germany, Jose and Jose Pabov in Honduras, and well, a lot of people, yeah, in the world. So this group is very powerful, and I find that our teachers in the group are also very enthusiastic and full of passion. Yeah. So yeah, when I introduce a lot of teachers from Taiwan, but some of them are still afraid in getting in touch with educators around the world. But now, little by little, they change their point of view. They want to join, and they are going to try it out in our group. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, one of our original webheads is from Taichung in Taiwan, and they were instrumental in getting me to come there actually and speak at one of the normal universities in Taipei. And then we have another webhead named Aiden Ye. I don't know if you know of her. She's in Kaohsiung, down in the south, and she does really phenomenal work, especially work with getting students to create. Do creative things and then put them up online. For example, teach people how to do things and put them on video and explain how to do them and put the videos up. Or poetry, she was doing a project on poetry recently, getting students to write poetry and put the recordings where they can see each other's and other people can see them and get feedback, things like that. These are not her students are university students, but we do also have a lot of people in Webheads who have younger students. And again, whether there's somebody in Belém in Brazil, for example, who is getting her students communicating with people in the outside world. Well, anyway, we've had lots of projects since we've been at this since the turn of the century. So, that's a lot of what we do, and it's really always interesting to meet other people who are doing the same things or similar things, and to learn more about you. So, okay, and Lin Lin is from Kaohsiung. Okay, so I should give you. I'll put Aiden's name there. Let me also give you the link for Webheads. This is the sort of a link that gives you links to other things where you can join the mailing list. And Maha, you have something to say? Why don't you join the conversation? You can articulate what you want to tell us.
Sure. I mean, one of the things I'm actually attending an online open course, not a MOOC exactly, but an open course called the POTCERT, the Program for Online Teaching, from Miracosta University. And I mean, I tried to, I joined it several times before, but for different reasons, business, family, and so on, I was never able to finish it. But this year I joined, and this week is I mean, next week is the last week. So finally I'm completing it. And this week, by chance, we were talking about or discussing networks, PLNs, and it got me thinking about what being online and being connected and in a network of other educators and people who are interested in the education has done for me, and or how did it happen? First of all, how did it start? And I think the one word that keeps going on and on in my mind is that I did it. I connected with a purpose. I knew what I wanted to connect to, and at least in general, I wanted to connect to something to do with education. I wanted to connect to educators. I wanted to learn more about the tools, the theories, everything to do with learning. So if you can, I mean, believe it or not, some of you may like Facebook, but I hated it, and I'm still not a fan. But and I was amazed at how people at all ages, not only teenagers, but even people who are my age and older, put their lives and personal lives on the web, and I couldn't understand that. But I'm not very comfortable, but I can accept that different people connect with the world in different ways. But in any case, what I thought was, if I was, I was drawn into Facebook, as they say, screaming and kicking, because my family and my friends wanted me there. So I joined, but then I decided, okay, if I have to be there, let's make it useful. So I thought, okay, there are so many hundreds of groups, so I decided to search for a group that had to do with e-learning. At the time, e-learning was big, 97. Even where I worked in an organization, an international organization, they were starting to look at e-learning. And that's how it started. And from a group, I found a post that led me to 100+ tools for learning on the net, on the web, to Second Life, to ISTE, to EVO, EVO, to MOOCs, to PotCert, to 100 other things. So I think, but also the second word is kindness. People have been very kind. I was very intimidated at the beginning, not being a mainstream educator. So I felt like an outsider. And I felt that people are going to be suspicious. Why are you there? Why are you with us? Snooping around, like the learning field. So, but in courses, in networks, in Second Life, in MOOCs, people have been very, very kind. And people are very worried about how to connect. And I think what I've learned is, ask a question, just make a comment, a genuine one. And a lot of people will be immediately interested in helping, or may share that comment or that idea or that concept or the question. And some of them actually, they initiated the connection, or by asking me, like adding me as a contact or as a friend and so on, and from there we go.
There's a question from Elizabeth Ann. She's asking about POTS. From which university, she says?
Miracosta.
Miracosta. Oh, that's right. Yes, you mentioned that. Does that answer your question, yeah, Elizabeth?
It's called PotCert. Put it there. It is run every year. At least this 2004 is, I think, the fourth year that I'm aware of. That I've seen.
Yeah, POTCER. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's see. Kathy, let me ask you, since you're the founder of, is your microphone working okay now? No, we can't hear. I can't hear. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Maybe someone else could tell us. Maybe Govinda, you haven't said anything much yet during this conversation. Kathy's gone off to fix her mic. What projects? How does the connection with Hello Little World work for you there in Nepal? You've introduced it a little bit, but can you give us a concrete example of something that changed with your students, or changed in your environment? Or maybe this could go out to anybody in Hello Little World. If you can give us an example of something that really changed that wasn't there before. Concrete example?
As Govinda is also trying to work things out, probably he has some issues with the camera. Maha mentioned here kind of an unexpected thing of finding human kindness. What comes to mind is a drawing that I think it was, I don't know, I saw it somewhere, and there was a cow. I'm going to I found something, but I don't know. And out of MOOCs, the milk of human kindness sprouted or something like that, because we just can't miss the point here. We have the technology. It appears to be shallow and cold, but behind the screen there's a human being, and that is something that comes unexpectedly. We somehow we don't expect to find that. I don't know why. I am also doing a MOOC because I'm a compulsive MOOCer, right? and it's very interesting. They are making us consider what does it mean to be human today. We have to redefine what it means to be human in front of all this technology. And the thing that struck me most was this abundance of kindness too in certain groups, such as the ones we participate. It's not that I'm going to replace my friends with new friends, but I have new people who have come here to make my life richer. As I was watching the other day, some kids dancing in open television, and they were from Korea, and they were dancing some kind of thing which is called K-pop. I remember Jeff Lebo's students, who I met them because he broadcasts their presentation, and I met them, and I think that they are, you know, very lively and great, and well, that's what we get here. Other teachers and other students doing things that are similar to what we do, and I think it's great.
Yeah, okay. Kathy, did you get your mic sorted? No. Oh well. Okay. But it would be. I'm really interested. Oh, yes.
Could I comment?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
There may be some feedback. I just watched one of Sherry Turkle's TED Talks recently, and she was talking about her book Alone Together, and well, maybe 20 years ago she was very motivated about the networking and that we're talking to other people around the planet. She was also saying in the most recent TED Talk that she was worried that we'll lose our humanness, and that as she mentioned just a minute ago, that is it a shallowness, and I don't see it that way. I don't see my students are around 20 to 21, 22 years old. I don't think that they have shallow lives just because they're always text messaging. I think that their consciousness or their networking or their connectivity redefines them and who they are, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, as with everything, it depends on what you do with what you have. I don't think that children, for instance, don't read today. They just do it in a different way. I think they're reading a lot. and they are, my niece, who is 5, she's already know how to read and write, and she's 5. We had to wait until 6 in my time. So I don't like I don't like it when I tell people that I am on Twitter and I say, no, I am not into that, as if Twitter was some kind of, and I stopped being an explainer. I stopped explaining people what it means to be connected. And when people say, oh, I don't have time to do that, well, as Vance, I think you said that we all have a 24-hour day. You know, it depends on what you do with your time.
You get a certain number of keystrokes in a day, so you can only do that so many times, and then that's the end of your connection. But yeah, I have lots of views of how things work, like MOOCs, for example. MOOCs can be overwhelming. Any kind of connectivity can be overwhelming. It's a fire hose that everyone is proverbially trying to sip from. So how do you do that? You engage filters or whatever. But another way of looking at it is as if it were a berry bush, and that is, when you go to the berry patch, you don't try to get all the berries. No one does that. It would take a long time. It would be boring. You'd cut your fingers. You only take the ones that are most interesting to you, and then once you've fed yourself, you're on your way. Or if you're going to make a pie, you'll collect a few more and put them in a bucket. But in any event, the idea is that you don't, by connecting, you are doing something to put berries in your bucket. And the people who don't connect are missing out on the berries. And if you don't want to worry about what you're missing, you thrive on what you collect. And that's the importance, I think, of MOOCs and these kinds of connections. Whatever it is that you do, and it's really interesting to meet other people who do things as passionately as we do. It's not unusual at all to meet a complete different network of people with different passions. So that is really always charging to, stimulating to meet other people with these kinds of passions. And we have so many represented here. There's Webheads, there's Electronic Village Online, and Hello Little World, which sounds like a really interesting community. I'm going to have a little trouble reading the text chat. There's huge chunks in there. If you'd like to speak some of that, I don't think we're all going to be able to read it. So yes, and Sebastian, of course, you can quote anything. Everything I do is shared under Creative Commons share alike. Attribution appreciated, and share alike, even for commercial purposes. So I don't really mind whatever you do with anything of mine you find online. That's what that copyright session is about, I think. So one more point. There's that Chatwing chat, and by putting things here, I'm taking a few things and I'm pasting them into the Chatwing chat. But the Chatwing chat gets Elizabeth Ann, who's there, and Halima, who's also there. So if you can put some things in the Chatwing chat for their benefit, that would be nice too. Or just come on and tell us what you want to say, so that the people in the stream will participate as well. Okay, go ahead, Maria.
No, Govinda was saying that and I'm reading his chat here, is that as he's been working with very young kids this year who he hasn't done much in the group, but in the last 2 years, his students had the opportunity to talk with teachers from different parts of the globe, and this gives them a lot of opportunity to know the outer world, their culture, language, and also helps the kids to learn English better. Another amazing thing for them is that they sometimes send them some support, which really encourage the students to go to school regularly. This sounds like a minor thing, but the drive or the engagement of the students is very important. I see this on a regular basis. Children don't feel like going to school, and if you have a child that wants to go to school, well, we have to celebrate that. We have in secondary school here in Argentina, the dropout rate is great. I don't like the numbers, and I believe that the answer to this, or something that could improve things, it would be if teachers connect more and give them more relevance to what they teach or the students see at school. I've seen Ling students get enthusiastic, spinning the globe, trying to find where I was from, and I saw their faces and the yells when they discovered that I was from the same country as Messi, the football player. But that's one thing. That's just the beginning. Then it's up to you to go to appropriate networks, to post a project, to find the educator who is doing the same thing. Sometimes the project is very small, such as taking a picture of your lunch or your breakfast or the Christmas table and share it online. And sometimes it can be quad blogging or something more demanding, but you have to start somewhere. However, it is, as you said, Vance, it is ineffable, right? You have to experience it, because it's useless if I talk a lot, because I find a lot of people in the street who say, "Oh, Maria, you do so many things. That's so wonderful." But I couldn't listen to that because, you know, at the time, oh, but it's recorded. Oh, no, but I don't have time. Okay, never mind.
It's like saying you don't have time to do your job, or you don't have time to learn something new. You know, it's anyway. But it is a problem, because, and you know, actually, I was involved in a book project where we had teachers from Sudan and Iran talking about the state of Cal in those countries, countries that weren't mainstream, you know, that didn't have a lot of money, and that was a problem cited by many teachers, that they really just didn't have time. You know, they felt sometimes that training should be top down, given to them, and of course it's the ones who succeed are the ones who are here and who are listening in the recording already. The only ones likely to hear the recording are the people who don't really need that message, but still, you know, so we're sort of in an echo chamber here, but still we understand that. So what we need to do is model for people and show them examples of what we do with students, and I'm sure you do that in your contexts. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that. Is there what inroads have you made with your colleagues as a result of modeling your successes with what you do in Hello Little World? Have you made any difference to your teaching situations for other people in that situation?
I organized some in-training session for a friend. However, in order to do certain things, you have to and to know how to do some technical things, basic technical things. Sometimes even learning that poses a challenge. And as I said before, if you don't have the inner drive, such as Maha's, for instance, or such as Nina, who devotes, and both are very busy ladies here, but they devote some time to do things outside their regular routine. It's useless to teach someone how to host a hangout if they are not going to find a relevance to it. And even if you show them how Mr. Skype works, if they don't see the point of Mr. Skyping or going further than that, I don't know. I presented in several conferences helped by you, by Elizabeth Ann, by some friends from Hello Little World, and the attendance of those conferences was very low. I didn't have a crowd in my sessions, but I don't regret having done that. It was, for me, it was very useful. But I cannot speak for others. I don't know. I'm afraid I don't have an answer for that once.
Of course, you don't know who's listening to your sessions. And one nice thing that Maria did for us was she sent us a picture from her kitchen where she had her tablet sitting there in the kitchen, and she was listening to one of our sessions, although she wasn't attending. So she was cooking and participating at the same time. And we hear feedback from people. I get a lot of feedback that people listen to our recordings later. Did you want to say something, Lin? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'd like to mention that I've been in this group for 3 or 4 years, and from this semester I began going out to some mountain areas, a school in mountain areas where they have internet supply, but they don't know how to connect globally. And the educational bureau in Kaohsiung, well, because my school is the second largest school in the city, so my principal told them that, well, in our school, we have an English teacher who use Skype to connect globally, and the educational bureau is very interested in such strategy to connect with the world. So they asked me whether I'd like to introduce them such kind of strategy, teaching strategy in classroom. So I went to some mountain areas and show how I connect with teachers in America, in Germany, in India. But they were very surprised, and two of the teachers, they are now following me, and they also start to do Skype contacts with foreign teachers from around the world, and also in Hello Little World Skypers. And they said it is a wonderful chance for them to get to know how to get students connect with other nations without spend a lot of money or spend a lot of time to think of how to do in the classroom during our English lessons. So it is valuable. Yeah, it's a very, very wonderful experience to share what I have done in my classroom. And I'm so thankful to our teachers in our group who always support me when I need them in my presentation. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Sure. Please do.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on an issue that, well, when I started appreciating the pedagogical possibilities of these type of events that we're participating in right now, the Hangout on Air, I was very excited by the feature of the automatic recording in YouTube. So if you have some event, whether it's like this, professional development, or something where, I mean, you could connect to classes, or as I mentioned at the beginning of, at the very beginning, I introduced myself that I actually conducted like a demonstration teaching to my graduate class, and the beauty of these, if you do it in a Hangout on Air, then you've got a recording of it that you can access later. You can review it. People who are absent can see it. It can be used for a lot of different things afterwards. And now, on the side, I'd also like to mention a network that I've been connected with. It's not a permanent thing, but it was sort of a cohort. I think maybe somewhat similar to the POTS certification. Tesol has certificate Principles and Practices of Online Instruction. Online teaching, I believe it's called, actually. And in fact, I guess I can say I'm a recent graduate of that program. It just finished. Anyway, great online courses, and typically anywhere from 5 to 10 or 12 people in a class, 6 classes in the certificate program, and you really get close to people. A lot of interaction, as any of you and probably all of you have taken at least one online class. But I sort of say that in passing because as part of the certificate program, we explored a lot of different tools for online teaching, And one of my favorites was all through this, Google Hangouts on Air. There are some difficulties with it, and a lot of people, some people objected because they didn't like the publicness of it. But one of the things that I discovered is when you're setting them up, you have an option. You don't have to set them up as public, as Vance sets these up so that they're public. Anybody in the world can see this, and they're discoverable. But you can also set them up as unlisted, and you can share with just one other person, and you still have the same features. You're live streaming, and you have a recording afterwards that you can access. And so that's what I set up with my students. I thought in an educational situation, a lot of people would be nervous. A lot of students would say, I don't want, you know, myself, my image, whatever, going out live to anybody in the world and viewing what I'm doing, what I'm saying, etc. So that, I mean, there's a lot of flexibility. I mean, you know, it can be anywhere from public to private to you know, share it with various groups, etc. And so there's a lot of potential here. And anyway, I'm just can't. I feel like I'm just beginning to explore, and real excited about the possibility of being able to present this at Tesol and learn a lot along the way. I'm by no means an expert, but I'm into learning, and it's good stuff. Great to share, and you know, I've heard people talk about experience with people being afraid or not interested, or I don't have time. But you know, I think if we can share with people that there are lots of different possibilities for the way you do it, it doesn't have to be public. And you know, well, anyway, that's enough.
I think that's not a minor thing. Being a teacher, sometimes we believe that we get our batteries, you know, low, and we need to feel enthusiastic about things. And if you find something that stirs your enthusiasm, well, you should go for it. Someone who is not here from the group, her name is, she is from Australia. Her name is Anne Merschem, and she has been a moderator for the Global Education Conference, and a great source of inspiration for all of us. She is also there for us when we need her, and she encourages us to try out new things, to participate, to present. And I remember her sweet voice and saying me, Maria, why don't you present at the Global Education Conference? I will help you. And knowing that there is someone there helping you, like Vance or the people in the network or Anne or whomever, is a great thing. Sometimes we don't need the help, but we need to know that there is someone out there for us. And that's something we lose the minute we step out of the teacher training college. We prepare a lot of things in group. We sit for exams. We make presentations, and then we forget about that, and we don't get into groups again. So technology today gives us the opportunity to go back and do that again, which is very important.
Sorry, a little lag while I unmuted myself. Let's see. So it's getting past the hour. We've been here for about an hour and 15 minutes. We started a little bit before the hour because the conversation just got going. So we went ahead and started recording. But maybe it's time to take any last comments from people. We're all at different times of the day. Maybe you've noticed it's starting to get a little bit dark in this room. But and it's pretty late for Robert over there in the Philippines. anyhow, any last comments about? It's really very interesting to, as I say, different networks doing the same things and obviously converging in this space and in other spaces. That was the whole point of getting together. How Maha and Maria and I and just kind of pull things together. In these networks have so many other connections, other nodes hanging off them that are also connected by virtue of some nodes getting together. That's the point that Stephen Downes always makes, that the knowledge in a network is available to anybody in that network, because your knowledge, and that's what you're talking about when you've got someone to help you in your network, you have access to knowledge from people in the network, and the wider that network is and the more interconnected it is, the more knowledge you have access to. It's a completely different way of learning than we grew up with, when knowledge was given to us by someone standing at the head of a class, or we got it from a book or whatever. Nowadays, knowledge tends to be something that you need to be able to access. That's actually George Siemens's idea, that the pipes are more important than the content in the pipes. You get your pipes working, and then you can get content coming to you. So I hope I haven't lost people on that little spiel, but that's actually what really intrigues me about the magic of networks, which is kind of what we're discussing here. So anybody else? That's my wrap-up statement. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add to that, or something more profound even? Kathy's, oh sorry, I'm putting links into the Chatwing chat, and the EduBlog Awards link just came through, and I will put that into the Chatwing chat. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
If I may, one thing is just also to announce that while attending one of the latest MOOCs, I met another Egyptian and another Maha from the American University, and we decided to join forces and do something for the Tesol and about the connected educator. And I may actually need, or I'd be really happy if some of you, all of you, can get together on another hangout on air or something similar. I mean, we can talk about it later a little bit more and design it so that we introduce those educators to how networks work and how being connected is a wonderful thing. And that is not scary, even if it seems to be sometimes overwhelming. That's I put my Twitter handle there, and that's it. Thank you very much for having me here, and I'd love to stay connected.
Sorry, somehow we do that. We all stay connected. Anyone else?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to thank you all. Thank you all for helping, for having the chance to meet all of you is something amazing. And well, I hope to see you again and again and again, even after you retire. Because I remember that Elizabeth somewhere said that she wasn't looking forward to her retirement, but I am looking forward to her retirement because I expect to see her more often here. Something that Janet Barnstable, a member of the group, is doing on a regular basis. She is a retired teacher, and she's there for us, supporting us. And I remember a conversation I had when I was very angry about something. We had a long conversation, and she was there for me. And so I hope to see you all now and forever.
Okay, any other goodbyes? Nina, something about EVO? You mentioned what we were doing in EVO, but you didn't really tell them what they should do in January to connect with EVO.
Yes, okay. Well, we have a public wiki page where the call for participation will be posted in about a little more than 2 weeks. So if I give you the link now, I would ask you not to visit because there's nothing there to see yet.
Well, there are links to past sessions.
Yes, there are links to past sessions, but everything is pretty new. And there's some news waiting for you, Vance, when you open your email later.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
It being November the 30th. So this is the link for the call for participation, which will be up around December 15th. We accept registration beginning January 5th, I think, for 1 week, and then we get underway with a kickoff webcast, Vance and me and the moderators.
January 11th.
January 11th, I think. I don't
Sunday,
have.
January 11th.
Usually, I have my calendar right in front of me when I'm talking about EVO. And then the sessions begin the next day, and they run for 5 weeks. All the sessions are free. They're open to everybody. It's not necessary to be a member of Tesol. I would only advise people to restrict themselves to 1 or 2 sessions. Otherwise, it becomes really overwhelming, and then you drop out and don't do anything. So I hope to see some of you there in the EVO, and thank you very much for this opportunity to listen this morning. It's been really interesting. I didn't know anything about Hello Little World, and it's really interesting to learn about it. So goodbye from Maryland, where I have the whole of Sunday awaiting me. It's 8:15 a.m.
Okay, well, goodbye from Learning Together and Hello Little World and Electronic Village Online. And this is, as you mentioned, the last day of November 2014. And it's great to be with you all. So thank you very much. I'm going to switch off the recording. Robert, you want to hang out here? Let's turn the recording off. And there goes Govinda. Okay, I'll stop the broadcast. Bye, everybody.